What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the PokerNews podcast. My name is Sarah Herring, joined by my boy, Jeff Platt. I am fixing to come back to the City of Sin tomorrow. In the meantime, Jeff is already there and representing for Team PokerNews podcast, still in the main event.
Still in the main event, found a bag, the first bag of the summer. It just has 11K in chips in that bag, but a bag is a bag. All it takes in the main is staying alive. How many times have we heard, Sarah, Greg Merson down to like 3 big blinds, Joe Cata down to nothing, Martin Jacobson, et cetera, et cetera. We could go on and on. So this could just be the next short stack story to run it up.
Everyone loves a story. Everyone loves a story, and everyone loves a short stack story. So let's talk. First of all, what is 11K coming back? What are the blinds coming back?
Blinds are 400 and 800 with an 800 big blind ante, so it's like...
That's like plenty.
It's like 13.74 big blinds. Not that I've bothered to calculate that over the last day or so. So I think it's good. I think, in the main event with 2-hour levels, you can kind of pick and choose your spots, unlike most tournaments where you got to double up and double up again and again and again. So, I know the spots. I've studied the spots, and I think I'll get it in good. And then we just hold, and then we double, then we win another big hand, and then we double again. It'll be easy. It'll be fine. I've been in this position in the main with 10 big blinds even, and have run it up to 100, boom, just like that. So
I've already been in this position in the main. Sick brag, but okay.
Yeah.
Rob,
I don't know if you know, Sarah, we haven't mentioned this before. I went deep in 2 years in a row, way back in the day. But it did happen.
Well, all the homies have your back. Rob says chip in a chair. Don't worry.
Chip in a chair, Rob. That's
Kim
right.
says good luck. So we're all rooting for you for sure. And before we move on to not bigger and better things, but just other things, who were you with day one? What was the vibe day one? For those of us who aren't there, who haven't gotten a taste yet, talk to us a little bit about what was it like, Jeff Platt?
It's awesome. I mean, I say this again and again and again. There's nothing like the World Series of Poker main event. Day 1A and Day 1B, I feel like, are fairly similar. Like, there's a really cool vibe in the room. ESPN is a great setup. They not only have the Thunderdome, but they have the big break desk. They have the secondary feature tables. And just, they hit the music at the beginning of the day. They kick it off with John Sin on Day 1A, with Daniel Negreanu on Day 1B, with the shuffle up and deal announcement. It's just kind of electric. My table was awesome. I mean, it was difficult, but, everybody was super friendly. We were laughing, we were having a good time. We had one guy's shout out to Ryan Snow, a musician in Atlanta. You guys might have seen him on the broadcast wearing these huge gold chains, 15 pounds worth of gold chains on his neck, and the big fur coat and the sunglasses and everything. It was absolutely amazing. So I loved the table that I was at as far as how much fun I had with the group. And, it's the main event. I don't know what else you can say. And then today, Day 1C will just be an absolute madhouse. I mean, it will be craziness today. They have 519 open tables, and there's a possibility, Sarah, a pretty good one, I imagine, that all of them are going to be used.
Ugh, I just love it. And I love a little taste of Hotlanta in the Rio. You gotta bring the homies to represent. Well, there's tons of news, of course, to be covered. We want to get you guys up to speed on the main event before we actually get there. But I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Global Poker. Global Poker is the home of online poker in America. Thanks to their massive weekly tournament schedule and the chance to win through their jackpot sit and goes with more than 1 million registered players in the United States. If you are not playing on Global Poker, then you are missing out. Head to www.globalpoker.com and set up an account today. Now, I want to catch everything up in the main event, of course, which is where obviously everyone is paying attention and cares. Matt's already talking about Day 1C, which I'm with you, dude. It's going to be crazy. I know so many people playing. But let's talk, before we get there, let's talk a little bit about, we last left you guys on Wednesday with Vivian Saliba in the Crazy Eights. 10 players left. I think she was second, maybe third in chips. And she ultimately finishes fourth in this tournament, which, unfortunately, it's not a 888 ambassador victory in an 888 tournament. Boo. But still, really a huge payday and a big congratulations to her. And it was Rick Alvarado who took that one down.
Rick Alvarado takes it down 7 bullets in this crazy 8s event, which was unlimited re-entry. He ships it for, of course, $888,888. But, I mean, you said it. Vivian Saliba, I mean, I think she ran into a cooler spot with about, 25 to 30 bigs when they're four-handed. She had pocket queens. You're always going to get the chips in, hopefully, when you have pocket queens. But Thomas Drivas had pocket aces. So that was the end of Vivian's run, and a good run at that. $308,888 represented 888 very well on the stream. Also, especially on CBS All Access. Alvarado beats Mark Radoja, very accomplished player, heads up. 10,185 entries in this field. So to come out on top of that, that is one well-deserved World Series of Poker bracelet.
And you got to know, he believed in himself. If you're gonna toss in all those entries,
so if you're gonna toss in
this
7
one's
bullets.
yours.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess when it's the crazy 8s, you just have to be ready to fire at least 8 bullets. Like lucky.
right.
Why not?
Just so rich, just every 888 bullet, it just doesn't, you just don't even feel it. You just fire until you run up a chip stack.
It's 8, why not? You've got almost a milli up top. What's up to our boy Tony Burns, who just joined in? And Tony, I was stalking on the IG this morning. I see all these pictures. You're out there with my girl Lala Kent, and I'm just trying to say, like, is she going to be there when I get there? Because Mama's trying to make a new friend, Oh, I know Tony, Lala's not drinking. I'm not drinking.
Perfect.
Just saying.
You guys are a match made in heaven for sure.
Just saying.
Until you start drinking again.
then we're breaking up. Dude.
I saw Tony on the ESPN coverage when Randall Emmett went to the rail to talk to Lala. There was Tony Burns, a superstar, a celebrity.
Dude, Tony, like, what's going on? Are these like your new besties? Because I'm happy. Like, I like to fly on a PJ. I like
on a
to.
PJ, we'll go all the way to Seminole. You like to what?
Just saying. Yeah. Exactly. What am I saying? Do I like to what? And all right. So moving on. I do expect an invite though to the big opening of the giant guitar hotel. So no big deal. Let's talk then. Let's just get after. Let's just get into this main event really quick. There's a lot of action in the main event to cover. So let's first talk a little bit about Jeff, where you were representing, which was what, day 1B? Let's do day 1A, 1B.
Yeah, I played day 1A, which was on July 3rd. Over 1,300 entries for day 1A, which is huge for a day 1A, the biggest day 1A I believe that there's been. So the number stood at 3,250 entering today, and then today will be Madhouse. We've talked about this before. Remember, registration is open on day 2AB and also day 2C before that. So I think I'll put it this way. I would be surprised if this main event was not the biggest event of all time. 2006 main event had 8,773 entries. So to get a crowd like 1,300 entries on day 1A, I think Lance Bradley from Pocket Fives and the Fives podcast, he looked back at all the day 1As, and they usually account for about 11-ish% of the field.
What?
Now, I don't think this will be a 10,000 plus field. That would be absolutely insane, and you never know. But it's a very good sign that many players were playing day 1A. Bryan Campanello bagged a massive chip lead, 417,500 in chips. That's over 520 big blinds. That's pretty impressive. Craig Chait with a nice stack. I talked to him yesterday for a little bit. He said he just had the smoothest ride ever. He didn't have any massive all-ins and calls. He just kind of went up, just living the dream. Jared Bleznick, Jeff Lisandro, Alex Foxen, Faraz, Jaka, Kelly Minkin, Jack Sinclair, and Billy Baxter all backed pretty nice stacks. In the kind of staying alive category, besides me, Erik Seidel, Stephen Chidwick, Randall Emmett, who we were just talking about him, got ice cream for everybody again. I think that was the most monotone announcement from the floor when they said that Randall was getting, it was like whoever jumped on the mic, they're like, okay guys, you remember Randall Emmett from last year? He's getting us free ice cream again. No big hoopla, no fanfare. It's the most boring announcement for free ice cream that I've ever heard. Yeah. I think they should have given Randall the mic for that one, or he didn't want to overwhelm anybody.
Also, I feel
Igor
like
Kurganov-
ice cream is a bomb ass gift because it takes like a little bit. Like in Las Vegas, it's not like you can just pop up out of anywhere with ice cream. You're gonna give ice cream, you gotta have plans.
Yeah, it's a whole venture to bring ice cream in. But then like everybody at the table's eating ice cream and they're touching the chips in the car. You know, it's a little. Maybe we can hand ice cream out on the breaks or something like that.
Oh, I like that.
Still a very, very nice gesture. Igor Kurganov still alive, and Sarah, he busted Liv Boeree. They're at the same table, and he busts her in the main event. How about
he's
that?
He's not getting any nookie for like a minute. You know that's true. JK, you know when we talked about the Alex Fox and Kristen Bicknell life, it just goes to show, dude, these professional poker players are professionals no matter what. And I'm sure Liv said, yeah, that's no problem. Don't worry. Either that or he's not getting any nookie for a little while.
I think
it is the main event.
It's the latter. The PokerNews headline was Boeree busted by her boyfriend, and Liv posted a picture of that and tweeted, "No one's busting on anyone tonight. That's for damn sure."
Oh, that's so good. That's it. See, I knew it.
Oh, she's the best.
We know about this stuff. And also that sassy little face even in the picture. I'm like, oh, you gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Man, it's so sad. It's just, I guess it's not the saddest because at least there's, all these other tournaments still to be had, still to be done. But it's, I just, for whatever reason, when you see the list of busted players on day one of the main, it's just such a like want for everyone.
I know. Like, look at that list. Yeah. It's David Williams, Frank Kassela, Chris Moorman, Brandon Adams, Lexy, Gavin, who was on the featured table coverage, Brandon Jack Harris, who was on secondary feature coverage. David Williams is one of the most popular Twitter videos now. He was all in on a 6-3 deuce board with 4-5. So just these stone cold Nether Butters early on in the main event, and you get all your chips in. He was up against top set, a set of sixes, and Williams is videotaping it for Instagram or for Twitter or whatever. And the turn was a 6-ball, giving his opponent quads. And you see Williams like just kind of slap his phone out of the way. I think his chair gets knocked over. He was pretty furious. Pretty entertaining video. But he was pretty upset, rightfully so.
So ugly. That just hurts so bad, especially in the main. Like, take it. And I just saw, I was even looking on Instagram this morning. There was, already like an Aces versus Kings spot, which is what we talk about all the time. Aces and Kings is so standard. But, dude, when it's day one of the main, you're just like, is this real life? Is it already over? It's so standard and so sad. And I'm sorry. And are you capable? Are you capable of folding Kings pre the first day of the main, Jeff? Let's talk about it.
There are certain players who maybe once you become accustomed to them that you would fold kings to, I think, in the main, and this is, one of the only tournaments that you would even consider doing that. I think case in point was, and this moves us along well nicely to day 1B, was Daniel Negreanu's table, at least to start the day. He had a lot of players who he could probably read very well. And I feel like in one of those spots, if somebody had aces and Daniel had kings, I'm not saying I could do it, but like there were certainly spots yesterday at his table where he could have folded kings to aces and been correct. Most of the time, though, you're probably just getting it in, especially as we progress through the tournament. I'll certainly be happy to get my 11K in with kings. Let's just say that.
Let's just ship it. Ship those kings to Papa. That's what we want. Well, in terms of day 1B, it looks like Adam Owen bagged 351K, which is fantastic for him and really fantastic for everyone. He's had just like an incredible year in the poker world. Also, Alan Kessler.
How about Alan Kessler? How did it? 301K for Kessler? What?
You know what that means? More Kessler report. We cannot get enough Kessler report for the summer. Galen Hall, always a formidable opponent. It's kind of amazing to see Galen dip in and out of the poker scene and just always come in and make a splash every time he does. So, I think there's definitely a lot of action to be had from there. And in fact, to just speak to what we've been speaking about, Tony Burns said that the hallways are just crazy today. So I can't wait when we do our podcast on Monday to catch up on all the things that have been going on. Or when do you play again?
Saturday for me.
Yeah.
Monday would be
maybe Sunday,
3.
maybe Monday. We'll have to see when it makes sense.
Yeah, whenever.
When it makes sense to go on. Now, speaking of moving on with the main event, we've got Joe Cotta found himself in another sick position, which is, I mean, after the year that he had last year, and obviously after the year he had in whatever it was, 2009, 2010, again, he just found himself heads up for a bracelet.
It's unbelievable. In the 5K 6 Max, another just premier tournament, here's a guy who, again, we mentioned this before, does not play tournaments throughout the year and comes to Las Vegas in the summer and absolutely crushes just all the time. That's just what he does. He had a slow start to the series. He rallied in a premier event. He took second place to João Vieira?
João Vieira. Who's a fantastic player.
Yeah, a predominantly high roller player. Zhao wins $758K. Kata takes home more than $468,000. I mean, you look at Kata's Hendon-Mob, the guy is an absolute machine in the summers. Like, we've talked about last summer where he wins 2 bracelets, he final tables the main again. He always comes in the summer and always crushes. He won the 10K 6 Max a while back. Like, he's just, not enough nice things to say about Joe Kata.
It's crazy really to think he lives in Michigan. He's obviously not playing online poker all the time. I mean, how someone manages to stay on top of their game living there, and I mean, he must just study all the time. I mean, I don't know, but huge congratulations to him. And also to João Vieira, he's somebody that I've seen on the circuit for ages. He's one of the nicest players. I think he's an incredibly accomplished poker player who maybe hasn't had one of those really obvious, really big scores like a bracelet yet. And, I would argue that for a poker player, the 5K 6 Max is probably one of the most, to me, it's one of the most prestigious bracelets of the summer because you're only going to get sickos, but it's a big enough field that there are going to be a lot of players who play a lot of different styles, a lot of different variations, a lot of different countries. I'm huge. I'm huge on this scene. And also, Tony reminded me, Tony Burns and I are going to be doing a Facebook Live on the 7th.
There we go.
On Sunday together from the Rio Hall. So you guys will get to see all the action that's going on there and then what we can expect more coming from the Seminole Hard Rock. Erik Danis, what's up, my friend?
What's up, Erik?
Apparently you're
Mr. GPI himself. Every time we say Hendon Mob, I think Erik does send us a check.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh, which
we
makes
need
sense.
To mention Hendon
because
Mob more.
When we said, earlier, Hendon Mob.
Yeah.
6 times before Erik tuned in.
We'll invoice you, Erik.
Yeah.
It's going to be like the pretty penny. Sarah, can I go back to day 1B to deliver some bad news to you?
Oh, no.
For a second, day 1B of the main. Your
What
guy,
happened?
John Hasp, the legend that is John Hasp, was eliminated.
What?
On day 1B.
So it's already over?
It's over for Mr. Hasp.
Wow. That's so sad.
And Corey Garcia and Anthony Zeno all eliminated also on day 1B. Are you going to be okay?
I mean, when are we going to start making the main event a re-entry? That's the real question.
No,
it's
never,
only
please.
It's only it can only be so far away. Wow, that's so sad. Okay, so who else? The Ott brothers are out.
Both Ott brothers are out.
Good,
Sean
I
Winter
didn't vote for them.
Is out. Val Vorniku is out. You mentioned the big stacks, the kind of still alive stacks, and doing just fine. Joe Hachem and his son Daniel back like 145K or so. So that's a pretty cool storyline to keep track of. Ryan Riess, of course, is still alive in a main event. Greg Merson, of course, is still alive in a main event. Chris Ferguson, Daniel Negreanu bagged, I think, 70K-ish. Maria Ho bagged a starting stack, and she was down to like 10K or so. So she ran it back up. Greg Raymer and Scott Seiver are still in the mix in the main.
Wow. Well, just so you guys know, basically the entire PokerNews family of video homies are also in the main, including Sasha Salinger and Oliver Biles.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a sweat and you don't have one yet, we can always root for Team PokerNews. And is it even?
But not Sarah Herring. You will not be flying in to fire the main event.
No, I will.
Somebody's got to work, folks.
Be working every day for 10 days in a row, and these are long days, dude.
Main event days are no joke.
We're not playing, and the craziest thing that I think is overlooked is that with the shifts in the schedule have made it. So, for example, on the 13th, this is the day we refer to as like the media day, where it's where the final 9 players come to the Rio, to the Palazzo Suites to kind of celebrate, to do a little bit of a meet and greet so that all the media can meet them and introduce them to our audiences. Well, the 13th also, so this is a very intensive day, which is one of my favorite days in poker, quite frankly. I think the meeting of the non-November 9, whatever it is, the final table of the main event is one of the most exciting times. And then also, just sidebar, the 100K high roller is finishing that day. So we'll just go ahead and arrive at the Palazzo Suites at the butt crack of dawn for the final 9, and then we'll just stay until probably the butt crack of next dawn to figure out, what do you think about, I was trying to kind of gauge what I thought about the turnout for some of these later events, because I think even like we're saying, you know, the want, I think the devastation that I'm used to from the main event, with the exception of last year, is that it's, or maybe was it 2 years ago, but essentially what happens is like the Rio just starts getting smaller, less people are there, the rooms start closing, they put away the tables until at the end there's just 9 players left in one table. But with this new thing, now it's like, I mean, players, how many players do you think really bust the main and then find it in themselves to try to max out their summer by, say, the 1,500 closer, the 3K pot limit? Like, have you had a look at any of the numbers from last year on the later events?
It's a great question, and I think they were satisfied enough with last year's later events after the main, like the little one and the closer, etc., to put together a schedule like they have for post-main this year. Because, I mean, we got the little one, 3K limit, 6 max, a 50K, 1,500 PLO bounty, a 3K, 1,500 mix no limit and pot limit Omaha, a 1,500 double stack, a 100K. We have the closer. We have 3K PLO 6-handed.
We got the 10K 6 max.
10K 6 max, which I don't... The 10K 6 max is too important to me to put at the very end.
I'm devastated by it, because the reality is the day that the 10K 6 max ends is the day that the World Series of Poker main event ends. And
it's going to be completely overshadowed.
Yeah, and it was sort of the same thing that happened last year. I think we were getting down to the final 9 players in the main event the same day that Phil Hellmuth won his 15th bracelet.
Yes, exactly.
It was just like, want, nobody's paying attention, nobody cares. I was like, any given day, this is going to be the biggest, craziest story ever. But, we're all paying attention to the main. That's all we care about. And the 10K 6 max is, as I mentioned, the 5K 6 max is one of my favorite tournaments. I mean, I think the 6 max are some of the sickest tournaments where you see some of the sickest poker. And so then that means that it doesn't get streamed at all?
No. The good news is that with the new deal with CBS All Access, that a lot of these events will get streamed. So the CBS All Access side streams stop for a while, but they return next week, I believe next Wednesday, with the Little One final table, the 3K final table, the 100K final table, the Bracelet Winners final table, the Closer final table, and the 10K 6 max final table will be the last stream on CBS All Access.
But what are they going to do without you?
That is an excellent question.
Who's doing the streams?
Tuckman will do the play-by-play, and there will just be no sideline reporting for those.
So no depressing bust-out interviews?
Yeah, no depressing, awkward bust-out interviews.
But that's what we all tune in for, so...
obvious. Yeah, sorry to disappoint. Maybe I can ask, maybe I should reach back out to them and be like, hey, I'll take some more work if I bust the main.
Yeah, I think you should, and maybe we need to start that precedent anyways. Well... In terms of what I'm going to be covering and what I'm going to be doing, like if the main event final table ends before the 10K 6 max ends, see you later. I'm not going to be there.
Bye-bye.
But I think it's going to be interesting to pay attention. And obviously they clearly were happy enough with the numbers to keep it going, not to mention the fact that players such as we spoke about before, Jaka managed last year to bust the main event and then still get another bracelet afterwards. So I guess if you can bust the main and still stay and get a bracelet, there's hope for anyone. Bust the main final table. Like, come on. All right, well, let's talk about one final bracelet story. Hua Hepi, who...
How about that?
I would say
is... from the past.
Yeah, I would say he is somebody who's like been due for a bracelet for a long time, but haven't seen him. I mean, I don't see him too often outside of the European circuit anymore. So I was surprised.
Yeah, he takes down the 10K limit hold'em. I mean, we said it, all these 10K championships have pretty sick fields overall, 118 entries. He wins a little bit more than $306,000. Whenever I think of Yuha, I think of that ultimate bet tournament in Aruba. Remember that? And Yuha has the shades on or what? I mean, this is like 2005 or 2006, way back in the day. So it's a long overdue bracelet for him, and he seems pretty fired up to get it.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking at this picture, for those who are missing it or who can't see on the interwebs, Hua is just notoriously stone-faced pretty much no matter what. Even I've done some interviews with him where it was like pulling teeth just to get maybe a tiny little grimace. And looking at this picture, you can tell he's completely overjoyed. He's come close, in the past. And I think for an accomplished player and someone who's been around as long as he is, it must feel incredible to finally get this, this, as we say over and over again, monkey off your back.
Absolutely. This the summer of the first-time bracelet winners who have kind of been on that list of best players to have never won a WSOP bracelet, and we're seeing that list take a hit this year.
Gotta go back. I gotta go back and see all the PokerNews family predictions, because I feel like if anyone predicted this was the summer of people who didn't win a bracelet winning a bracelet, they should just automatically win the predictions $20 from everyone. Okay, Mario wants to know, would you rather win multiple small bracelets or win the main?
The main.
Yeah.
The main. Snap call on that one.
So the main. So hard, the main.
Yeah.
All right, what else? Anything else important we need to talk about before I go pack my bag and come to Las Vegas?
No, I think we're ready for you. Just one quick point, as Rich pointed out in the chat, he is correct. CBS All Access is streaming today the Salute to Warriors final table. So that's Tuck and Jessica Dolly, which is perfect for her to be on the call with him. So CBS All Access today. Then they take about a week off before resuming stream. So nothing else from me. We're excited to have you in Vegas tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I'm just thrilled to be there. Absolutely can't wait. Wish I had a day off. If anybody wants to come in and try to
hire a freelancer.
Put on a show.
I saw Tiffany Michelle's working media, so maybe you can just bring her back for a day.
Wouldn't that be the best? I've actually, unfortunately, already tried to get her on board at PokerNews a while ago. And the thing is, a lot of people charge more to have their faces on camera than they do to do other stuff. So couldn't get Tiffany this time, but maybe if I can get a solid budget, I can get her back on. I do love my girl, Tiffany Michelle. She's super smart and super pretty, and I just love her. One more shout out. Again, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Global Poker. Global Poker is the home of online poker in America, thanks to their massive weekly tournament schedule. If you're not playing on Global Poker, you are missing out. Head to Global Poker and set up an account today. And we have been giving a big shout out to our sponsors, Odds Checker, who were sponsoring they were giving away a seat to the 10K main event. That seat has been given away. It's already happened. I believe they determined the winner yesterday. So I guess they'll have to make us a new Odds Checker commercial if they still want a piece of that. And there's a picture of the gentleman on Instagram, and just a big congrats to him and good luck to him in the main event. And good luck to everyone else. I'm going to be, I think the butt crack of dawn also on the 7th is going to be this grand entrance by the 888 poker team and their qualifiers. They're going to come in Harleys and hopefully bikinis and some really exciting things. So if you guys want to, if you're not already on our Facebook Live, if you're not watching us live right now on Facebook, I don't know where you're watching us, but basically about 10:30 in the morning on Sunday, I will just be standing in the Las Vegas sun waiting for this very exciting grand entrance. And hopefully after it happens, Randall Emmett will have something delicious waiting for me inside besides Lala. All right, you guys, I appreciate you listening. Obviously, if you have any interesting stories or interview ideas, get at us at Jeff Platt, at Auntie Chardonnay. And in the meantime, good luck to Jeff.
Thank you.
I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
Deuces.
Appreciate it.